Well, hello. Well, I got off the fumble start there. Well, hello, everybody. Good to see everyone here. Thanks for joining me again on this Wednesday night. So it's good to be here. Got some things in store for you, and let's just do some uh, housekeeping here on the live stream portion. If you're unfamiliar with what we're doing at Christmas Clatter, I'm live streaming the recording of the podcast, but you'll know when I start and stop that. And then towards the end, I'll come back and we'll chat in the amongst each other and talk about it and have a few special things for those that watch the live stream. So, um, Cozy Christmas Podcast, Art. Thanks for hopping on here, man. Yes, 109 more sleeps till Christmas. So it's coming quick, and it will tick by in a hurry. Like I've said several times this year, once school begins and you start booking up, your calendar for the end of the year, the dates start filling up fast, and you're like, holy cow, what's going on? So it's best to get in there and get it planned. And sneak peek, Art will be joining me very soon on a live stream and a podcast. Towards the end of the month, I believe. So we have something special planned for you guys. In fact, Art might just be my first live stream guest. I believe so. I believe he will be. So that will be exciting. So stay tuned for that as we cover. Well, I won't give away. I won't give it away now. So, but that's something to look forward to. Charles, hey man, thanks for hopping in here. I enjoyed watching you draw live on Twitch earlier today. And for those that don't know, join Charles at Agu Designs on Instagram, and it's a lot of fun. He also does the Closer to Christmas podcast, which is really fun too. So, Ken, thanks for hopping on here, man. I hope you're feeling well, doing better. Get healed up and get back to it as soon as you can, but don't rush it. Do what those docs tell you to do. So, and hey, Johnny, how's it going, man? It's good to have you here. Johnny, I need to send you a direct message. This is not Christmas at all. I need to send you a direct message, something about the Postal Service. I won't get into it here. I'm just saying that out loud so I don't forget. You know how it goes. So, but Sean, thanks for hopping in here, man. I appreciate you. Good seeing you in here with everybody. And Art, we're gonna need to see that dance. I know you can post videos. For those that don't know, Art does the Cozy Christmas podcast like you see here, which is fantastic. But he also does Art's Book Odyssey on YouTube. So if you're into reading and and that kind of thing, he does all kinds of reading challenges and covers an author in a month and talks about it and has interviews with different people. I'm not much of a reader myself, but I enjoy Art's channel and I enjoy his podcast, Cozy Christmas, and I enjoy Art's Book Odyssey. So check that out on YouTube if you're interested in having a reading partner. Art will be your reading partner on YouTube with Art's Book Odyssey. Definitely check that out for sure. So, hey, Arnie, sorry, words, but hey, Arnie, Doug, if you're watching with him, hello guys, Pepper Tree Villa, some of my favorite people on YouTube. They live stream every Monday, and it's just a joy to see. Hey, Dwayne from New Zealand, thanks for tuning in. I know it's a little early for you guys there, but I appreciate you hopping on. So thank you so much. So, hey, Jessica, how's things going? You get any puzzles put together lately? I know you usually work on those. And a reminder, the Christmas Puzzle Exchange will be happening again this year. So Candido, it's good to see you. And he's another one that will be hopping on with me shortly. And in fact, I had these on my desk to show my I can't remember, was it last year or the year before? But Candido sent me these, and I haven't even taken them out of the package because they're so cool. I don't want to like put them on anything. But for those that love Christmas and love pop culture, look at these things. Ninja Turtle Jingle Bells stickers. I just keep them here on my desk to look at them because they're so cool. But yeah, check out his stuff, Creative Dad on Instagram and Twitter. He does a lot of cool art and NFT art kind of stuff. It's really, really awesome. So thanks so much, man, for hopping on here. So hello, Holly. For anybody that doesn't know, this is my lovely wife, and there'll be more about her later, especially at the end of after the podcast, because you guys are going to get a sneak peek of something that's coming for Christmas Clatter. So yeah, 1 p.m. on a Thursday. Oh, I was thinking in the middle of the night, but I forgot it's 17 hours. Roughly. Time changes, the standard and gets me off. So, all right. So it's not so bad. But we did a lot of collaborations with Dwayne, and we always would have to do them like a Friday for me, Saturday for him, or Saturday, Sunday. But it's not too hard to work out. I tell you what, from experience, and it's a lot easier to get together with someone over a video call that's from New Zealand than from like England, because the time is just a little bit easier there. So yeah. Hey, Mikey, how's it going, man? It's good to see you here. Thanks so much for hopping on here. So yeah. All right, Doug. I appreciate it. So yeah. And finished a 1,000-piece Lionel train. It's one of the hardest puzzles I've ever done. Harder than 2,000 piece. We have a 3,000-piece Charlie Brown one. It's not Christmas, and it's still sitting in the box because I think I got a little intimidated by it because that's a lot. And I think the hardest piece we ever did was like this Thomas Kincaid. I think it was like Thomas Kincaid Bambi puzzle, if I remember correctly. We like swore off Thomas Kincaid puzzles because it's a painting, so there's like no direct lines to match up. And we're like, we swore off Thomas Kincaid puzzles after that one, and once we finished it up. So, but this year we're definitely going to break out the puzzles again and get back into that. So, yeah. Oh, and they're 50% off at Hobby Lobby. You cannot beat that. So, yeah. But thanks everybody for hopping in here with me. I'm going to take a quick drink, and then I'm going to start recording the podcast itself. So if I ignore the chat, please forgive me. We'll get back to it. I may have to cough here in a second because right when I hit the countdown timer, or right before it, I can't remember, I took a drink and it just went right down the wrong pipe, and I was trying to kind of get all that cleared up before I came on. So just give me a second here, and then we'll start recording of the podcast. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Christmas Clatter. I'm Todd Killian. Thanks so much for hopping in here. Just a little bit of housekeeping for everybody on the podcast and on the live stream. It's after Labor Day, man. And after Labor Day means we only have one more speed bump till Christmas, and that is Halloween. And so time is going to be checking off faster and faster. I always say at the beginning of the year, it's a marathon to Christmas, but as soon as Labor Day turns the corner, it becomes a sprint. So make sure you're planning for Christmas. And just so happens, ta-da, I have a Christmas planner available on Amazon. If you guys want to check that out, it's christmasclatter.live/planner. is the link. There'll be a link in the show notes and descriptions for you guys. It's $9, $8.99 technically, but it's $9, and then Amazon will get that to you if that's something you're interested in. It's my first one, so if you guys get it and any feedback you send either through an Amazon review or to me directly, it will be much appreciated, because I have ideas for different kinds of books for Christmas next year. Not necessarily a planner. I may do the planner again, but since I have this one made, it'll probably just be kind of a, I don't want to say a rehash, just kind of a redesign, and kind of keep things basically the same. And well, not basically the same. I'll really want to, what's the word I'm looking for? Just kind of a redesign would be fine, just kind of, I got the elements put together and just kind of rearrange them, change what didn't work, make better, what did work, kind of thing. So I appreciate any feedback on that, and that. So that is christmasclatter.live/planner if you're interested. And I just got to keep plugging that because it's so important to plan for Christmas. And that's the thing we're going to get into today. And then I'm also going to talk a little bit about our trip to the Yule log cabin. But first, let's finish up our series called Christmas with Purpose. I had mentioned in the show notes that sometimes good intentions can ruin our holiday fun. And, through Christmas with Purpose, we learned the importance of, making a list and having a plan, kind of getting rid of some of the clutter out of our lives and out of our way, really. And, just kind of making sure we're being intentional. But one thing a lot of people like to do over Christmas is to overextend themselves, commit to too many parties, commit to making too many things, commit to buying too many gifts, that you really don't have, the time and energy for. You want to, because you're good-hearted and you're well-intentioned, but I know personally from personal experience that the time management part of my mind is faulty, because it's I look at a task and I'm thinking, oh, that's only going to take 5 or 10 minutes. That's only going to take 5 or 10 minutes. Well, that's lies. Pure lies. Absolute lies. That project or thing that's supposed to take 5 or 10 minutes in your mind takes 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? And then before you know it, the whole day's gone, and you're just spinning your wheels and stuck in mud. And so, part of that, with a planner, you can kind of get even as a sheet of paper, you can get a better handle of what's going on. It's things work in your mind, but then you can't make them work in real life. And it's because you got to, practically apply them. And same thing with paper. You ever heard the phrase people use a lot at work? Well, it worked on paper. Yeah, it worked on paper. But then there's outside forces that you have no control of that you can't put on paper. And it's nowadays everybody just wants to be so generous with their time and with their efforts that they overextend and overcommit. Opportunity, turn it down. I'd love to, but I just can't. I'm just, feel like I'm just a little overextended. People will understand, and that way you can make time for the things that are important. You're not wasting so much time with a event that is kind of on the periphery of your social circle, in lieu of making time with those that are closer in. With that being said, the other thing we need to remember is when you have things going on, it's okay to ask for help. If you've committed to making, 100 cupcakes or whatever, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask your spouse or your kids if they're old enough and capable, or your parents or your in-laws or your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your friends, whoever you're closest to. Just ask for a little help. A lot of times they'll be happy. Be happy to help you. Happy to come over with your house all decorated for Christmas and you guys work on something together. You know, what's there's a reason why they put the baking and decorating scenes in Hallmark movies all the time, because it's always so much fun to go help somebody with something Christmassy, you know, and that's where real memories can be made. So if you feel yourself like overextended, ask for help. Even if you don't feel overextended, ask someone to help you just so you can spend that extra time with them over the holidays. You know, to make your holiday more enjoyable and to make you more productive in getting those things done, you know, and you won't be so extended and feel so overworked. You won't feel like you're the only one doing something while everybody else is just having a good time, you know, which can cause like a little resentment, a little bitterness. But you don't want that over Christmas, you know. And the last thing is, when you do all these things, you always have to remember to keep a spot for those spontaneous moments that happen at Christmas. Every Christmas has them. It's a time that comes up that no one planned for. Maybe you have someone that stops by your house that you hadn't seen in a while, and you're able to spend some time with them and have a good conversation. Maybe a kid comes up and sparks a conversation, or you guys start doing something, you know, that is just spur of the moment and fun, and you know, just kind of grabs that feeling of the holidays. It's you know, it's really what those are the times that people remember for the holidays. And if you're planning carefully, paying attention to your time, when those times arise and you see them, then you will feel okay to set everything else aside and make time for that person, or make time for that, you know, spontaneous, you know, get together. This past Sunday, of course, it's not Christmas yet, but this past Sunday, you know, we was here at the house with my wife, my youngest son, youngest daughter. My oldest daughter comes for a visit, which is great. And then before you know it, my mother-in-law stops by, which is wonderful. You know, and then it's not too long, my two parents come and are hanging out, you know. And then before we know it, my brother-in-law and his two boys are here. So it's like this spontaneous party get together. You know, everybody's in the house, and it's like no one planned it. You know, we kind of knew a few of them were coming for, you know, different things, but we didn't know it was all going to coalesce together. And so it's like, this is fantastic. You have everybody here, you know, and enjoying each other's company and talking and catching up. And if you overcommit and overextend yourself for Christmas, when those times like that happen, you'll feel like those are more of a hindrance for you to get the things done you need to get done. But if you plan and are intentional, that word intentional comes up a lot, then times like that, you can sit down and enjoy, because you'll have a piece in the back of your mind saying, I have time budgeted for this stuff. So it's not time for me to work on it now. The time for me to now is to be here and to be present and in the moment with everybody. And that's the place we want to get to with our Christmas planning, is to set aside the time to get the things done that need to be done, so that when those special times come up, we can be there with everybody and not having the back of our mind stirring and thinking of all the other tasks that need to be done. Christmas is a long season, but it goes by in a blink and before you know it. And there's a lot of factors with Christmas as far as planning and getting various families together. You know, you have to do several different Christmas parties over different days. I know some families will even do their Christmas parties before Thanksgiving, just because it's just so hard to get everybody together. And some people will even do them, you know, a month after, just so they can get everybody together. And that's great, and that's wonderful. And you know, with so many moving parts, you know, you have to keep a semblance of a schedule and a guide. and a map to enjoy it and to make sure that the holiday doesn't become a burden, to you, to where you're dreading it. And that is, Christmas on. I say it different every time. Christmas on purpose, Christmas with purpose. Both are applicable, and it's just to be mindful. Really, that you boil down all the points. It's just to be mindful of what we're doing and to make sure we uh, capture those moments. So, again, I don't want to feel like I'm becoming a salesman, but there is the Christmas planner um, available for you guys. If you get on Amazon and you see one you like better, please pick it up. I just want people to, you know, make plans, and not that we got to have the clipboard of fun that Danny Tanner used to carry around for vacations, but just to kind of have a semblance of a guide. So that is Christmas with and Christmas on purpose. And we'll still talk about preparing for Christmas and that kind of thing as the weeks uh, roll along. But that is the end of that series. And so let's move on to the Yule log cabin. For those that are just listening to the podcast, as I talk about the Yule log cabin here and local um, businesses and stuff, there will be a slideshow playing on the live stream. And if you want to see that, just head on over to the live stream and take a look and jump to this section if you have to. I'll do my best to get it marked as a chapter on there so you can get to it quickly. So, hey Chris, you drove all the way up from Chicago just to make the live stream. I appreciate that. That's not what you said, but that's what I'm going to take it as. So I appreciate it, man. It's good to see you here. And these are some pictures I took, and Holly took some of them too, from a little local Christmas shop. I guess it's about, I don't know, 7 or 8 miles from my house. It's out in the woods in the middle of nowhere, called the Yule log cabin. And it's kind of a special place for me because it used to be a Christmas tree farm that me and my parents and my sister went to when I was a kid to get our Christmas tree every year. And it's not a Christmas tree farm anymore. They do sell live Christmas trees, but they're already cut. They're not growing out there. And Joni, the owner, she was my very first guest, I believe, on the podcast back in 2019. I need to have her on again, to tell you the truth. And Joni runs the Yule log cabin, and she's a fantastic lady and does a great job. And I talked with her a little bit out there. I don't talk with Joni very often, only just when I go out to the Yule log cabin, this time of year. It's our Labor Day tradition to go out there, me and my mom and dad and my wife, and go out there and look around and buy the stuff. And I just got, talking with, Joni this year, just talking about, supplies and stuff. And she seems to be doing pretty well keeping stock. The supply chains are kind of squirrely, but she seems to be doing, pretty good, keeping that stuff. And I got to think about my other friends from last year, Callister's Christmas. They're online, but they're based up in Wisconsin and the Minnesota area. They have a couple stores, and but they're a local shop, and I thought, well, people go to Hallmark and that kind of stuff, and people need to hit these local shops. And even though sometimes the brands are the same, and and there's a lot of kind of repeat, they all don't have the same things. But then I got to think about Walmart, or not Walmart, but Hallmark. And Hallmark has this franchise base that's a lot like Ace Hardware, where it's not really a store owned by the corporation. It's more of a local business. That's why it's always someone's name in Hallmark. Like our local Hallmark is called Dana's Hallmark. And before that, I think it was Jones Hallmark, I think. I don't remember. But that one had closed down, and then Dana bought it, turned it to Dana's Hallmark. But a lot of them are somebody's name because they're along. So I didn't want to like run Hallmark stores under the bus, because it's like I kind of realized, even though it's a national brand kind of franchise thing, they are so local owned, because I know our Hallmark will take local craft people's um, uh, products that they make and actually sell them in store, and then if that, say you made a nativity set and it sold like hotcakes at the local Hallmark store in your town, then Hallmark could come in and be like, you need to make all them for all our stores, or that kind of thing, or or certain stores can be like, make some for us. So it is a way that local artisans can sell things through Hallmark, and which is cool. But these local stores like the Yule Log Cabin and Callister's Christmas up north, they're not open year round. Um, they work year round, because it's like soon, they just don't take off, and open up in September or late August and run till Christmas and shut the doors. It's like they're constantly, trying to find the trends. They're constantly trying to find what's going to sell, what's going to be hot. They're always rearranging and redecorating all the trees and all the ceilings. I mean, the pictures that are taken here, and I'm sorry for those listening, don't do the place justice, because there's stuff all over the walls and the ceilings, and it's just everywhere, and it's just fun to go hang out, and walk around, because it's like every time you walk around and walk by something, you see something new that you didn't see there before. And one picture go here, it's all these glass balls, glass baubles, and they're all made in Ukraine. So it's like with world events, it's like then you can kind of support some Ukrainian businesses by buying those ornaments and things. And I just wanted just to take a time to be like, look to see if you have a local Christmas store, because sometimes they don't have a lot of money for advertising. They just kind of have to hope people find them, either on the social medias or um, that kind of thing, and do your best to make your way out there and get to know them, and make sure you buy a few things out there. I'm not saying go out there and break the bank, but just make sure you support them, and let them know that you're there, because you know I could tell when I was talking to Joni on Monday. There's a few other customers that came by, and we're just talking to her. You just see that her having the support was a lot. To have the same friendly faces come by, and I know other places have more traditional um, Christmas stores that are open year round, especially in tourist areas. That's usually a thing. Me and my wife went to Hilton Head, South Carolina, in April, and it was it was a very nice trip. And in one of the little open air malls right next to the ocean, they had a small little Christmas store that was opened up, and we were like, a Christmas store, yes! And we were so excited, and then we went in there, and we were so disappointed. It was just such the like cliche Christmas stuff that tourists would buy, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I was like wanting like deep, engulfed, trench, um, uh, Christmas atmosphere, and the stuff was like way overpriced. And so we just kind of walked around like, well, we're good, So it's such a joy to go to these shops like the Yule Log Cabin and Callister's Christmas. Callister's Christmas does have an online presence if you're interested to buy that, of people that truly love Christmas, and you can definitely tell that the people at the little shop at the open air mall in South Carolina, they didn't really like Christmas very much, or if they did, it was like surface level. It's like I just didn't get that deep feel of love for Christmas like I do at Yule Log and other stores I've been to. And and so I just want to take a time to be like, guys, just make sure you go out and you hit these local shops. Hit your local Hallmark if you haven't yet, to support these people, but especially the seasonal shops. They need you early. I mean, the crowds will come in November, but they need you early. And just if you just go and get a couple things, but just knowing that you're there to support them would be all that it can be. And with that being said, I want to say that the first week of October, I will be spending a week at Frankenmuth, Michigan, at Bronner's, world's largest Christmas store, and I'm hoping to interview the owner and to do the live stream that week from there. But that's yet to be seen if that will happen. But I will be going live at different times on like Facebook or Instagram in store, and so that's something to look forward to. Uh, Hanging out there at Bronner's, and I've never been, so we'll see what that entails. But if you're just listening to the podcast, I please go check out the slides. I tell you what, I will put a link directly to the slides in the show notes for you guys, so that way you won't have to find them on the video. But I will also make a chapter marker on the live stream once it's over. That's your way you can jump straight to the videos to check out the Yule Log Cabin, and just take a little time this Christmas and support those stores, and you won't regret it. It's just something about them just get you right. Not that I need much help to get in the holiday mood, but just something about them just sends you guys, into all the Christmas feels. So, well, this has kind of been an abbreviated episode of Christmas Clatter podcast, but that's okay. We're still getting our feet under us here in a couple of weeks. We'll be back, and it won't be long. We'll be every week through Christmas, so that's something to look forward to. And I encourage those listening to the podcast to check out the live stream. We record live on YouTube, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, Christmas Clatter YouTube channel. We have a special pre-show get-together. Then I record the podcast with everybody. And then we have a special post-show hangout where we do a little chatting, and I give them a little insight or an unboxing that's not seen. Well, you can see it in the replay, I suppose, but just a little something special for everybody hanging out with us. So thanks so much for joining me here on Christmas Clatter. Christmas Clatter is a production of Very Merry Media. And as always, keep Christmas hope alive every day. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with me while I record an episode there. So, yeah. So it's a lot of fun. I have something special to show you, couple of things to show you guys that are special. That is top secret information, so be sure to treat it as such. I saw someone in the chat liking my Nutcracker mug. This is one of my favorites. I love nutcrackers. Last year or the year before, we started having a nutcracker tree, and I got a table full of nutcrackers we put out every year. Not sure why I like them so much, but I just do. So, yeah. A lot of love for Bronner's and Frankenmuth. So, all right. Thanks so much, Charles. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, for this post show, Christmas Clatter has a sponsor this year. And we haven't got detailed into it yet, but we have a sponsor coming, and I just wanted to show you guys a few things. And that sponsor is West 5th Studios. If my wife could say something in the chat for me real quick, I would greatly appreciate that. But West Fifth Studios is a great company with just a wonderful CEO and owner operator and talented artists wearing all the hats and things. But they're going to be our sponsor this year, and we're going to have uh, some cool things to share with you guys. Uh, Talked a lot about ornaments lately. We love ornaments. They're one of our favorite things. It's one of the reasons I switched Christmas Clatter and started recording live, is just so I can have, or started the YouTube channel, really. Not recording live, but started the YouTube channel because there's so much Christmas that you could just talk about, but there's so much more Christmas that you can show. And it's just a lot easier to show with a camera, here and all that. So, but as you could tell here, I'm not sure if you guys can see it very well, but there's a logo next to my wife's name. Let's see. And it's a West Fifth Studios logo because my wife will be my sponsor. And yep, all these items will be on the Etsy. What is a Etsy? On the Etsy shop soon. So let's get into them here. And some of these can be personalized if you would like. And here's the first one. I don't want to drop any of these. Oh my gosh, it'd be the end of me. But let's see this camera. Some of these can be personalized ornaments. Here's one she will have up on the Etsy shop that you can personalize. Acrylic background that's etched with the pine trees there. Very nice ornament and stuff. And she's like I said, she's a fantastic designer and artist. And she's made all these. These aren't just productions we bought and stuff, but every piece of these she's made, and we'll be putting up for sale, and that because she's she just loves it. She didn't really know what she was getting into Christmas wise when we got married, but she's adapted quickly and wonderfully. Here's another one. I guess it could be personalized if you wanted to, but for those that like the farmhouse look, of course, this is hand painted as well. That she's made. She also has a cow and a deer that kind of go with this one. Kind of the same thing with the glasses and stuff. I love the pig. It just cracks me up. I'm not sure why, but I guess a pig and glasses and a Santa hat is comedy gold. So, but yeah, and there's a few other designs that she has, and this next one, it's like a retro design, and I really like it. There's like 4 different retro designs, and I like all of them, but this one might be my favorite. Again, she's hand painted these. They'll be up on Etsy shortly. We'll let you know. But they're this kind of retro, sparkly color designs with different kind of Christmas sayings. It kind of looks like the old road signs or something, which I just love. The kind of the retro feel and stuff. And she's been busy getting these together. These also will be on the Etsy and things. But this is a sneak peek on them. But yeah, all 4 of these retro ones may be my favorite. But that's just kind of my wheelhouse. I just do. I mean, the farmhouse ones I love too because they crack me up. And and she's got a beautiful nativity ornament too. That's just wonderful. And this one here is a popular one for personalization. I don't guess you have to have it personalized, but we have my youngest daughter's name on there. But it's a naughty nice meter, and then you can roll it side to side, depending on what's going on, But that's a cool one too. That I can't get it right in the camera. It's backward. There we go. Yeah, and so this one will also be popping up on the Etsy shop, and like I said, it's got my youngest daughter's name, Taylor, on there, and if you have someone you want to put on there, you can. I don't believe they have to be personalized, but if you want to add that touch, you can, and it's just something she's always loved doing craft fairs, and she makes all kinds of different, you know, signs and paintings and junk journals, and she's just very very talented in in that realm. And once I caught her the Christmas bug, she started making some ornaments. I'm like, these ornaments are too cool to keep to ourselves. And because I had some family members and stuff who were wanting some, and I told her, I said, I think other people would want these. And again, West Fifth Studios will be our sponsor, and those are a few of the ornaments that we'll be showing you guys. And there'll be more on that to come later on. You know, she wants to get her inventory built up and kind of get a system, because she doesn't want to get overwhelmed with orders and then have people um, disappointed. Because right now she's a one lady show, and I could help her, but you would definitely know which ornament you got was painted by me, because it would look absolutely terrible. And so we're trying to get a best practices put together so she can get the ornaments out there and be proud of the ones that she puts out there without having to cut corners on the quality or the craftsmanship. So before we sign off here, is there anybody out there that has a question for me or anything they're dying to ask? I'll give a few minutes because there's always a delay. There's always so. Enjoying Christmas. Take my money. Okay, if you insist. Nah, that's funny. Yeah, Ken, you're like me, man. You just that retro stuff just kind of gets you. You know, it just kind of gets you where it is. So yeah. Oh, all right, man. Definitely will. Arnie, definitely will. So yeah, Mikey, that Santa is cool. You know, there's an app called the Santa meter. It's not on anything. I think maybe like Amazon's shop is by Spilling Coffee Media, and I've like we're Android phone users, so I've been able to like download I forget what the file is to keep it, and it looks similar to this, and it's the fingerprint, and it tells them if they're naughty or nice. It's the official Santa Claus, and Santa Claus, runs it, of course, and that ornament looks real similar to that app. So, Jessica, yes, the Silver Bell Awards are coming back. Um, it was a tough year. I promoted those things like crazy, and then got sick, and then got behind, and then woof. But I will be doing them, and actually, it's after thinking about the Silver Bell Awards, and for those that don't know, this is my supposed to be annual Christmas music awards um, that I did one year and then skipped the second. Um, because the way the format was it was like I had Christmas music, and then I tried to do the awards for that year, just like a couple weeks before Christmas, and that really didn't give me any time to listen to everything new that came out. And then I kind of was in this fence. Well, do I want to do people that are independent, or do I want to include people that are major labels, or do I just want to intermingle them? And so I just had like this. What's the word I'm looking for? Kind of conflicting vision of what I wanted them to be. And so I just kind of hit the pause on them. And I think the plan is um, sometime in November, uh, I I will do the Silver Bell Awards again, but will be for last year's music. That way, I have plenty of time um, to make sure I absorb all the new Christmas music. And I think it's just going to be everybody. If you're independent or if you're on a major label, it's just going to be new Christmas music. I don't care how big or little the artist is. And that way I have time to absorb it. And then the plan is for the next one to be like March. So that way it's a few months after Christmas That way I have plenty of time to take in everything and, get people's thoughts and opinions. And I want to include more people in deciding on what's wins what, because otherwise it's just me deciding, and I want to keep it above board, So yes, they are coming back, a little bit different type of thing. And, in that, and in fact, I have the domain for the Silver Bell Music Awards locked down, and another domain I have locked down that I plan to do something with, but I don't know when I will be, is the Christmas Music Hall of Fame.com. So there's a little teaser for you guys there. So, Sean, what got you interested in podcasting and live streaming? Well, I'm not sure exactly what got me interested, but I'll tell you the story, and then maybe we can figure out that together. I'm a letter carrier for a living. I say that a lot, and it was like, as a letter carrier, I get to listen to a lot of podcasts, and I listen to a lot of YouTube videos. I don't get to watch a lot. A lot of times I'll turn on the video and just put it in my pocket and listen. And it was getting, I don't know, August or so, and I'm like, there's got to be a podcast on Christmas. So, I'm a Google podcast user, so I searched Christmas, and there was a few. The ones I remember was like a Christmas stocking, My Merry Little Podcast, Christmas Past, 'Tis the Podcast, and I think those are the only ones I remember. Oh, Can't Wait for Christmas. Well, Christmas Past was the first one I hit, Brian Earl, and I burned through them, all of them. And I was like, man, this is great. So then I hit Can't Wait for Christmas, Tim Babbs, and burned through all his at the time. And now these guys had only been doing it for like a year or so at the time. So there wasn't a lot to go through. And then I got caught up with 'Tis the Podcast and Christmas Stocking and My Merry Little Podcast. And then Brian Earl had this video that he had on YouTube about making all these other Christmas podcasts, and he had like names for them. And one of the names of the podcast was this music podcast called Tinsel Tunes, which I thought was a cool name. And I love Christmas music, and I thought I could do that. But it just didn't sit right with me. It just was like, nah. But I was like, it's a cool name and it's a cool concept, but just something was like, nah. And then this guy from New Zealand came along named Dwayne, and he started Tinsel Tunes. And it was great. And I was like, for some reason, I was like, yeah, people are taking these ideas and running with them. And so I was like, man, I want to talk about Christmas, but I kind of want to talk about everything Christmas. I don't want to be tied down to music, even though I love it. And I don't want to be tied down to the movies, even though I love them. I wanted to talk about everything. And it seemed like that, everything kind of had its focus. So it's like, for some reason, the scene from A Santa Claus came to my mind when Charlie runs in to wake up Tim Allen, and he's like, "Dad, a clatter! It rose such a clatter," And I was thinking about that. It was just kind of, that scene just hit me funny for some reason, and then I thought, Christmas clatter. And I kind of like the name because it just basically means Christmas noise. Clatter just means noise, really, is all it means. And I was like, well, that fits, because I'm just going to be making a bunch of Christmas noise talking about whatever I feel like talking about. So I had been a part of Christmas Past. He used to do the trivia game, and I got to do one of the trivia games. And so I had a little bit of contact with Brian Earl. So I messaged him, kind of told him my thoughts and ideas and stuff. And he was so supportive and so helpful, and he was really helpful in getting me launched, helping me showing me the ropes on how to get it out there and what services to use, and even designed my logo. The little reflector ornament that I haven't really changed a whole lot because I just love it so much. And he even built my first website and was like teaching me WordPress and stuff, which I since had to switch to do something I can manage myself because, Brian's got his own thing and I don't want to be a burden on him. And me and Brian still, we talk on the regular, not all the time, but I don't know, once every other week or so, we'll, check in with each other and just started rolling. And then when I start rolling, I locked down the YouTube because I had heard from somewhere. Might have been Dwayne told me, if I'm remembering correctly. He's like, wherever you do, lock down the name on the social medias, even if you don't plan to use them. That way, in case you decide to go that direction, you can, um, um, you'll have your Christmas clatter would be there and things. So I locked it down on YouTube, and I thought I should do YouTube too. Well, I was learning how to podcast. I had no clue, on how to record or anything, or even how to use. I started using Audacity to edit the sound. And there was a time there where me and Dwayne were messaging back and forth on the regular about, what we have learned in Audacity. It's like, well, I learned this trick, and he'd message me. He's like, I learned how to do this, and this is how you do it, and it really works great. Trust me, he taught me more than I taught him, but we were learning together. And then so, um, we just kind of growing, and so the YouTube fell by the wayside because I couldn't learn how to podcast and couldn't learn how to do video at the same time. It was just too much, and podcast is where I really wanted to focus. And so I kept the YouTube. What I did is I start rolling my episodes into YouTube, then it would just be on my logo would just stay there and the episode would play, and there would be a few plays on there, but I just kind of keep the channel rolling. And so it was always my plan to get back to YouTube once I had the podcast part down. And that's what I did in my second year of the podcast last year in May. It was actually a little bit earlier than that. I relaunched the podcast, or I relaunched the YouTube channel, I should say. And what I was doing was every other week I had the podcast, would just be a recorded, pop it up on YouTube kind of thing. And then the weeks in between would be like what I called a traditional YouTube video. Well, that made me making stuff every week. That was a schedule that I couldn't maintain. For one, I love Christmas, but when it's not Christmas, it's hard to come up with new Christmas ideas, and so I pivoted because I want to really take the YouTube thing. I kind of heard from, I don't know if you guys saw my reel here a few days ago with a guy named Doc Rock. Through learning how to podcast and learning podcast equipment and stuff, I found Doc Rock's channel, who's like a live stream coach and things. And he kept preaching that YouTube is going to have podcasts, which they announced last week that they are. Video podcasts. Anybody that knows Joe Rogan and other podcasters, video is going to be an element. So I kind of wanted, my goal for Christmas Clatter is not only for me just to talk about Christmas to the ether, but I wanted to have a community of people that love Christmas just as much. And I love the podcast, but with a podcast, it's like record with somebody. Several days later, it goes out to everybody. And then a few days after, any reactions, if any, start trickling in because it's just kind of distance. And I wanted to make a Christmas community. And through live streaming, it gives me the opportunity to do the video stuff I want to do. And I will have some of those traditional Christmas or traditional YouTube videos again. They're just not going to be quite as regular, because I'm only going to do the ones that I can do well without having to like fake it, and I will have them, and I have 2 or 3, kind of working around in the back of my mind. Um, but the best way for me to start a community of people that love Christmas and want to hang out and support each other and talk with each other is to be live, to where we can have the chat rolling and, people getting to get together at the same time, on the same day to do the same thing. It's that commonality that, you know, people need to have a sense of community. I know this is probably a bad reference now because Bill Cosby's gotten in so much trouble. But aside that, I remember being a kid when the Cosby Show was on TV on Thursday nights. I knew when I got to school on Friday morning that all the funny jokes of the Cosby Show, all the kids will be talking about, and that's just the way it was. There was a commonality, that everybody watched the same thing and laughed at the same jokes, and that with streaming, that's kind of gone, except if you watch, sporting events. In fact, I was talking to a friend of mine today, living here in Missouri, big St. Louis Cardinals fan, little pool host, and Wainwright and Molina's all retiring this year. And it's like the end of an era. It was a great run. I know Pujols took off for a few years to the Angels, but we were talking about, I think it was in '04 in the World Championship Series when Jim Edmonds hit a home run. It was the fall. All the windows were open in the neighborhood. And watching the game and he hits a home run, I was cheering. I could hear everybody on my block cheering at the same time. So there's this sense of community around one thing that I want to build, with you guys, to make a welcoming Christmas community of people that just want to get together, enjoy each other's company and love Christmas, to be supportive in the things that you do. If you have your own things going on, I know Johnny on here, he does stuff on grilling and barbecuing. We have Santa Dad, who does a lot of cool stuff about family and encouraging people to live that Christmas life every day. Ken does a couple of things, Faces the Places, where he goes, tells all these great back road Americana stories, and he lives at the North Pole, and he does the the North Pole Dispatch News, and Dwayne does his Christmas lights and his drumming, and we have Art that does his thing, and Charles that does a couple different things with his art, and there's other people that do art and on here as well. We have the guys from Pepper Tree Villa, that hop in here and enjoying Christmas, and my wife does her ornaments. And if there's anything that you guys do, please let us know, because in the YouTube community, there's this thing called subs for sub, and it's like, I don't want to do that. I want to do like a support for support. If you're doing something, I want to be there to support you guys, and and learn for you. It's like Art does the book Odyssey. I'm not much of a reader, but I love Art, so I'm going to watch his videos, and I'm going to learn something, and I'm going to learn to appreciate books more than I have, and that's the kind of community I want to start. And that's kind of the reason I wanted to live stream. I just kind of wanted to just build, the best Christmas community on YouTube. I don't know if there's another one right now or not. It doesn't matter, but we will build one here together at Christmas Clatter, and that's why I'm here. And I'm so glad that each and every one of you guys came to hang out with me. And I'm sorry if that was a little bit of a soapbox, but that's kind of was rolling with it and stuff, and enjoy seeing you guys, enjoy talking to you, a lot of you guys, throughout the weeks and things, and just enjoy a Christmas, because, man, September 16th will be 100 days till Christmas. So you know, that's when it really moves, and it just, we can't wait. I know it's September 16th because it's our anniversary, and it's 100 days till Christmas. Wasn't planned, but worked out wonderfully, that kind of thing. So, guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I truly appreciate it. If you could, if you haven't yet, please, hit the like button and, subscribe and ring the notifications. It just helps so much. Share it with someone that you think might enjoy it. But thank you. And I'll say it again, guys. Remember, keep Christmas hope alive every day.